I'm Laurie Cardoza-Moore, and this is Focus on Israel. The importance of teaching the horrors and scope of the Holocaust has never been more vital than today. With the continuing rise of anti-Semitism, we must always remember where such atrocious actions and hideous mindsets lead. Only by remembering can we say, never again. Hello, I'm Laurie Cardoza-Moore, founder of Proclaiming Justice to the Nations, a nonprofit organization dedicated to educating and sharing the message of Christian biblical responsibility to the people and land of Israel in the face of a growing global anti-Semitism. Proclaiming Justice to the Nations was birthed to stop the silence, to wake up Christians and people of conscience to the realities of a world bent on destroying Israel and the Jewish people. It is a sad reality that the lessons of the Holocaust are vanishing from the collective memory. According to a 2018 survey, 66% of millennials could not identify what Auschwitz was, and 22% had not heard of or were unfamiliar with the Holocaust. Additionally, 68% of millennials wrongly think Hitler came to power by force. This is underscored by an alarming uptick in schoolyard anti-Semitism. The number of hate incidents directed at Jews quadrupled in K-12 schools from 2015 to 2017. A study by the Anti-Defamation League shows reported incidents jumping from 114 to 457. School grounds surpassed other public spaces, such as parks and streets, to have the highest number of reported anti-Semitic incidents in 2017. A photo posted to Twitter and Snapchat in 2019 showed a Nazi-themed party where California high schoolers played a drinking game with red cups arranged in the shape of a swastika while laughing and doing a Sieg Heil salute. The rise of anti-Semitism in K-12 schools cannot be ignored any longer. Today, only 10 states require schools to teach students about the Holocaust. Without a comprehensive education about this horrific moment in our history, how can we teach a pathway to apply that lesson to the future? One of the greatest teaching aids that is still relevant today is a 2004 documentary titled Paperclips. The film is about the Paperclips project, in which a middle school class tries to collect 6 million paperclips to represent the 6 million Jews killed by the Nazis. Paperclips takes place in the rural Tennessee community of Whitwell, where a middle school class attempts to gauge the magnitude of World War II's Holocaust by collecting paperclips, each of which represents a human life lost in the Nazi slaughter of Jews. The idea came from 3 of the teachers at the school and was completed in their 8th grade classrooms. Today, we're going to show you a portion of this powerful film that was described as being not yet another movie showing the tragedy, but a project of hope and inspiration.
To the students of the Whitwell Middle School. I recently learned from a friend about your paperclip project. I was so moved by the story that I found myself in tears. You've embarked on a journey that begins in the brain but ends in the heart. 6 million Jews will never again dance, love, sing, or learn. But the souls of 6 million Jews will be honored, remembered, and treasured because of your little school in Whitwell, Tennessee, and the tolerance and love that lived there.
My name is Linda Hooper. I've lived here in Whitwell, Tennessee all my life, and I've been the principal of the middle school for 9 years. A lot of people have said that our little town is an unlikely place for what happened. I guess I can understand that. Probably most people, if they drove into Whitwell, would not be terribly impressed. It's a very rural town, about 24 miles northwest of Chattanooga. It's got just 2 traffic lights, several gas stations, and a couple of restaurants. So in 1998, we began an adventure. It was no great mission. It was a need, our need.
We were looking to do a project that would involve tolerance and diversity. So Ms. Hooper sent me to a conference in Chattanooga, and I went to this conference and went to many, many classes to try to find a project that would fit our need.
So he came back to me and he said, you know, if we studied about the Holocaust, think about all the things we could learn. We could surely learn about evil. And we would definitely learn about a culture that was totally different from our own.
And so I went and asked Sandra Roberts, who is the 8th grade language arts teacher, if she would like to help.
When I heard about the project, I was so excited. I couldn't say yes quick enough. We sat down and we decided that our goal was to teach children what happens when intolerance reigns and when prejudice goes unchecked.
The important thing is the lessons that you're going to learn from this project. How important it is to treat everybody exactly like you want to be treated.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen today.
The first year, which was in '98, I believe, it was just the Holocaust project. The teachers didn't know a lot, but they were trying to teach the kids what they didn't know. They read books, and they watched video clips, saw pictures, and they just tried their best to do what they can.
But I want to remind you before we start that what we're going to cover in this project is very, very graphic. And if you feel that
Of course, one of the first things that the kids had to learn, and one of the hardest things for them to comprehend, was that Hitler murdered 6 million Jewish people.
The idea for the paper clips came when a student said, "What is 6 million? I've never seen 6 million." Miss Hooper's like, "Well, neither have I. If you can find something to collect, we'll try it."
So the students began doing some research on the internet. And they discovered that the paperclip was invented in Norway. I never knew that. And they also learned that the Norwegians used the paperclip as a symbol during the Holocaust.
Back in the 1940s, Norwegians wore paperclips on their collar to represent the people who were in the Holocaust at that time.
And they came and they said, can we write some letters to some people we know and to some other schools and to some famous people and see if they'll send us some paper clips?
Miss Hooper said, sure. So we began sending letters out.
We have some from Tom Hanks and from Bill Cosby and from former President Bush and former President Clinton and President Bush.
We first got a shipment of 100,000 paper clips. They were very excited and they thought they were off to a booming start.
We received that in one large shipment from a gentleman in California, a jewelry designer. And then we got into a huge lull where we would go weeks and receive 2 letters. And it's really hard to keep your optimism up, your enthusiasm up, and to keep up the enthusiasm of 27 kids. And we were just fiddling with some numbers trying to determine how long it was going to take us to get to 6 million at the current rate. And it was going to take us 10 years. And we just both shook our heads. We knew we didn't have that much in us.
Towards the end of 1999, I guess the project could have gone either way. But no one was ready to give up on it just yet.
Fortunately, that's when Peter and Dagmar Schroeder came in.
We both are journalists, and we are here in the United States for 20 years. We are White House correspondents.
They came. They saw. They wrote. They went back to Washington. They sent Dita Smith with the Washington Post to our school.
After I went to Whitwell, I wrote my story, and it appeared on Passover Day.
11,390.
Before the Washington Post came, we probably had 150,000 paper clips, and we counted them all.
We checked in over 24 million paper clips and about 25,000 pieces of mail. It's in German.
They're all addressed to Anne.
This is Anne. This is Anne Frank.
Somebody is interested enough in what we're doing to take this kind of time. This class in Germany has gotten a suitcase and they have packed it with messages. Basically, they're all kind of asking for forgiveness from Anne Frank.
I want to take you to Israel in pictures and film. I want you to see how God's sovereign hand can be seen before our eyes right here in this land. That's why PJTN is offering a special anniversary package that includes a captivating new book and award-winning DVD. Israel Rising is a unique visual story of Israel's miraculous journey from unforgiving desert to thriving nation. Thousands of years ago, the prophet Ezekiel foretold a future time in which the arid land of Israel would come alive for its people. Now this breathtaking book documents the fulfillment of this vision, as rarely seen photographs from the 1880s to the 1940s are juxtaposed with recent photos of the same locations. This book will inspire and captivate you as it illuminates Israel's foretold awakening in a new and unforgettable way. In addition, you'll receive the award-winning documentary, Israel Indivisible, The Case for the Ancient Homeland. This inspiring film examines the many political twists and turns that make Israel the world's most controversial nation. From Abraham and the Promise to the issues facing the Jewish state today, the film examines the historical, archaeological, legal, and biblical foundations for the modern state of Israel. This is a limited time offer for these 2 remarkable resources for just a one-time gift of $70 today. Your generous donation will help ensure that PJTN stays on the front lines and in the headlines of all the important issues facing Israel and our Jewish brethren. So please go to pjtn.org today. From studying history, it's very clear that what starts with the Jews never ends only with the Jews. we must strongly stand against any anti-Semitic trends. For if not stopped, they'll cause harm to all of us, and we'll witness the downfall of our Judeo-Christian Western culture. Today, many people say there's no longer a need for a Jewish state, that Jews around the world no longer need a place of refuge. But anyone who has heard recent statistics about the worldwide rise in anti-Semitism would never make such a claim. The reality is that neo-Nazi groups and Nazi sympathizers are increasing around the world. Surveys show that over 1 billion people in the world harbor anti-Semitic attitudes. Close to 50% believe that Jews have too much power in the business world, and 2/3 of the world's population has never heard of the Holocaust or believe the historic accounts of it are inaccurate. Don't let yourself be manipulated by evil people with a wicked agenda. When the self-serving villains are in control, good people from all religions suffer. Muslims, Christians, and all people of conscience should stand proudly and show respect for a country that gives so much to the world in so many ways. Do your part, do your research, and do what you can to make a difference. Because what happens in Israel does affect us all. This is not just a Jewish or just an Israeli problem. This is a problem for all humanity, for each and every one of us who believe in freedom and human rights. Learn more about what you can do at pjtn.org.
Comes along the spring of 2001, Greater Five Towns Holocaust Survivor Group in New York called us, and it seems that somehow they'd heard about the project. And they wanted to know if they could come to Whitwell and share their survivor stories with our children.
I was born in Poland. My name is Bernard Igelski. My father was quite...
When the first survivor came, I think was when we really it hit home what we were teaching.
We as Jews were singled out, put in a ghetto, had to wear a star, and we forced...
And they spoke and gave us a real-life face to a story.
I said, when I stood in Auschwitz, and I seen that big chimney, smoking day and night, and
we didn't really understand until that point that what we were teaching, wasn't just book learning. It was, this had actually happened and this person lived through it.
And instead of being afraid, shielding your children, prepare them for the real world. Yes, there are not nice things out there, but if they will be prepared, they will be able to do the right thing. Thank you.
By the time the survivors visited us, we had more than 4 times the number of paper clips that we originally set out to collect. There was not a place in this school, not even the broom closet, that wasn't just flooded with paper clips.
And we were at dinner one night with the Schroeders, and conversation was just flowing, and Linda, just in between bites, said,
"You know what I really wish we could have? I wish that we could have an authentic German railcar of the period to house our paper clips as a permanent memorial."
And conversation just stopped. And we all kind of looked at each other and thought, oh, a rail car. Oh, we have to have a rail car. And the Schroeders were like, this is the idea. We will find a rail car. We promise you, we will find a rail car.
I think when the decision was made to get the rail car and the Schroeders jumped in and volunteered to find one, I really don't think they knew what they were getting into.
Oh my God. We wrote to everyone and his brother and asked him, do you know where a cattle car like this is? And everyone and his brother wrote us back, there are no such things. And then we decided to look for it ourselves. And we went on a detective tour. We drove 3,000 miles crisscross through Germany and went to every rail yard we can imagine. And kaboom, we found one. This car has a long history. It was built 1917. Then 1933, Nazism came, and then it transported victims to concentration camp. And then it went on another journey. And the journey was from north of Berlin, from the Railroad Museum to the German port of Cuxhaven.
Time has come to travel on and made my way alone. Souls will mend the journeys and this road will take me home. Swing and turn, Jubilee, live and learn, Jubilee. Swing and turn, Jubilee, live and learn, Jubilee.
From now until November 9th will be a work in progress. It's hard for me to understand the enormity of this project, of how many people know about it, you know, how far this project has reached. I look at these people that are right here today, and they're as excited about this as I am.
We're doing it on a volunteer basis, and just for the town and for the people.
The whole community is involved in it, and what little bit we can contribute, why, I'm glad to do so.
Once we received all of the paper clips, or the paper clips slowed to a very manageable amount, we were well over 29 million paper clips. So when it came time to load the rail car with the paper clips, the children were extremely selective.
We'll just start here. Allison, 4,500.
They wanted to be sure that gifts from as many people as possible would go into the memorial. So they took paper clips from lots of different donations. We decided that we should put a total of 11 million paper clips into the car.
That's good. Okay, guys.
6 million to represent the Jewish people who were murdered, and 5 million representing the homosexuals, the gypsies, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, and all the other people known to have been killed by Hitler's regime.
Did you see Uprising for the opening? Missed.
I think when you look at these paper clips, the purpose of it is to remember those lives that were exterminated during the Holocaust.
The job of collecting paper clips is over, but the job of educating others will never be over.
To think that us, people from Whitwell, Tennessee, if we have made such a big difference, think what the rest of the world could do if they tried.
Not only did we educate other people about the Holocaust, but we educated ourselves. We'll never look at a paperclip the same way again.
This modest documentary packs an emotional wallop unlike practically any other in recent memory. Its message is so clearly portrayed and profound that I feel viewing it would benefit every family in the country. If you're a parent or a teacher who is grappling on how to teach this horrendous time in history to your children, I highly recommend you purchase a copy on our website store at pjtn.org. Well, that's our program for today, and I want you to know we appreciate your support. The time to take a stand is now. Be a leader in your community and in your church. One person can make a difference. Get involved with and support pro-Israel organizations such as PJTN. Call your senators, congressmen, let your elected leaders hear from you. Visit our website to learn more. Sign up to receive action alerts and order our films to share with family and friends. Please encourage everyone you know to tune in and become informed. God bless you, and thank you for all you do on behalf of our Jewish brethren and all Israel. We'll see you next time on Focus on Israel.
To support this program, send your tax-deductible gift to Proclaiming Justice to the Nations, P.O. Box 682711, Franklin, Tennessee 37068. You can also support PJTN online. Visit pjtn.org or call 1-877-873-9020.
Anti-Semitism has reached epic proportions, and Israel is now surrounded by nations who seek its destruction. For Israel to lose just one battle would mean losing everything. As Christians, it is our biblical responsibility to stand with our Jewish brethren and Israel. PJTN needs your help to reach more Christians with this urgent message. Please visit our website to become a member today and order our award-winning documentaries. You must decide that you won't be silent. Sign up now at pjtn.org. God bless you, and thank you for your support and prayers.